Hello and welcome to Drawing with Clifford, and today we're having fun with oil pastels. So basically I found these in my school bag that I didn't think I had, so I'm going to have a bit of fun. So I've got my cotton buds and toilet roll to clean the pastels with, and I've got my picture from the previous episode. So so what I'm going to kind of do, I'm going to create a heightened colour image. That means I'm going to over exaggerate some of the light tones and dark tones and just go straight. So one trick I always do, I mix colour straight on the page like I do with the paint, and I'm going to put my dark tones in with the blue first. Now this is green, so what happens when you mix blue and yellow, you get a nice green, and because I'm not completely mixing them, you're going to see it go from light to dark. As part of the heightened colour thing, I'm not creating my dark tones with too much black. I can use other colours to kind of replicate that. And what I'm kind of doing here, just very gently, just helping blend those yellow and blues together and make that nice green with the whites. Just changing colours every so often based on what I can see. I'm just having, like I said, this is all about just having a bit of fun with it. So my little trick here is I try not sticking with the same pastel for more than 2 or 3 seconds. Maybe just the white, just to blend those in. So neaten those up, get a bit of that texture in, and bang, that's that nice bit of green bit there. Now, clean my pastel, I'm going to get that slight yellow bit here. Now, problem with this is because this is mainly yellow, not got a green hint to it, I'm going to have to kind of find something else for my dark tone. So I'm going to experiment with a bit of orange. It doesn't look good, it doesn't matter. I can blend it out and maybe add a bit of black to it. Depends what I want. Now, the great thing about pastels is they're very, very messy. And, you know, it's really good for like more kind of impressionist kind of mark making, which is kind of what I'm going for. So I'm just going to add a bit of white to help blend those in. Clean up the sides. I normally wouldn't recommend doing this on an A5. I'd probably do a bit of a larger scale, especially with an image as detailed as this, but it's part of the challenge. So if I was going to do this kind of image, I'd do it on a large scale. So just going to finish these little bits over here. So if you were going to do it at A5, I'd probably pick a more simplified image, and definitely don't do it over a tonal drawing because it's very hard trying to hide all that tone I put on after. Maybe start with an image of a basic shape, but I didn't want to draw a new one. I just thought I'd use what I've got. So I realised that's brown, not red. So what I'm going to do for the petals, I'm going to actually put my dark tone first on red. Now these are mainly a pinkish purple colour. So let's get that red first on the dark tone. I might throw a bit of blue on later, but let's get where those creases are. Let's throw that on because this next bit's really fun. I get my white and I'll blend that in. So what I've done is I'm just going over the top of the red, and just like I do with my paint, I'm just blending it out with the brush. Now I'm just using the cotton bud here for the little bits I can't. The pastels are quite thick. I might use a few ready-made colours because I've got them, might as well. And just put this on. So, a bit of a difference with this episode is I'm not expecting everyone to have pastels, but if you do, have a bit of fun with this. You could do the same technique with any real colour media because I'm mixing on the page, but it's just how you apply it. So you could do this with chalks, soft pastels. I've used this with colour pencils as well, but using really more fine lines. So it's just a bit of fun. So these really dark tones, I put my blue over the top of my red. If you've seen my Year 8 George O'Keeffe picture, it's the same way I've done that. It just creates that nice purple colour. And as I said, I absolutely love mixing on the page. I like creating a tone. It's a personal preference. Some people like doing it in a palette. I just love creating these nice raw textures straight on the page. So I'm just going to blend these in. Now with anything, we can spend ages refining it, manipulating it, but we can go back to it later. I'm just going to get this white on and just fix this little corner here because it's a little bit blue. And so this is all about getting those nice impressionist marks. It works. You can see I'm just continuously refining it. So I need to make this kind of contrast a bit to the other petals, so obviously it just doesn't blend in. So I'm using a bit more blue this time rather than putting the red on top, so it just becomes a bit darker. And I'm going to make sure it's got more of a purple hint. So just going to make sure I give it a bit more green as well while I'm at it. Just make sure it's there so I don't get confused and end up making that pink and having to go over it. So if you want, you can use your black to over exaggerate some darker tones as well, but I'm just using it sparingly as I can. So as I said, we're not aiming to make this absolutely sustained. This is just a nice quick experimentation. So I've gone back into my blue, mixing it on. And I've noticed that some people, when they use pastels, they apply it kind of like they're trying to colour in a whole chalk page and it comes quite brittle. Just put a little bit of pressure on and just blend it into each other. Just give it that nice smooth texture there. So this bit of black here is just going to help redefine the shape. That's starting to look pretty cool. I'm trying not to leave too much negative space for the light reflection because, as I said, I've done this over the top of a tonal drawing, so it doesn't really give me much of an option too. So I'm having to work around that. But as I said, it's all for fun. Just to redefine that top bit with that dark tone, so doesn't differ too much from the other petal I've done over here. Let's get that tone down there. So what I'm trying to do here, I'm just trying to identify dark tones like I do with a normal tonal drawing. Create that nice purple colour and then blend it out with either the white or the cotton bud. You can do this with your finger as well, but I've got the white pastel, I might as well use it. It just creates this really nice light purple colour I can work with. So I'd recommend, if you're doing an image like obviously with this much detail, please do it on a larger scale. Pastel, because obviously it's quite a thick, bulky media. It's kind of like best way to describe it is it's trying to like playing piano with hot dog fingers. It's just they just get in the way. You could use the edge of the pastel to get a really refined line. But as I said, these were designed to be, quite expressive, quite bulky, and just like a pure reflection of colour. I've seen some people work really well drawing back into these with pencil, maybe using ink over the top, but I'm just enjoying just reapplying colours. I think it's starting to work really nicely. I always recommend, if you don't have a white pastel, buy a separate pack, because obviously that's what really helps with the blending for me. Get that light tone. Just put that bit dark there. And just put that little bit of blue. Now, as I said, the blue for me, as I said, it's not what's on the original picture, but I like using that instead of black because it shows, there might be a bit of a blue reflection behind it, or and it really contrasts the red nicely. Because obviously you've got your green kind of like background for like the main body of the plant. You've got your red for the petals, and it's nice having that blue for that dark reflection as well too. As part of that over exaggeration of colours and that heightened colour idea. So I'm just chucking these on, blending them in. And I say, be generous with these. If you've got your own pack, you might as well apply it on nice and thick like you do if you're actually doing a painting, and just gently blend those out. The aim is not to leave any like white marks underneath. But you can probably see I keep picking up the pink pastel and reminding myself that I actually want to mix the colour on here, not just resort to ready-made colours. But sometimes it kind of works with a bit of refinement, and also I feel like my white pastel's starting to run out a bit. So I'll just put that bit of black for that hidden bit of tone. As you can see, as everything around the middle bit starts to build up, it kind of brings it all back together. I won't lie, probably in the first 2 or 3 minutes of this picture, I was starting to not enjoy it, but actually it's starting to really come together and it's working quite nicely. Especially for for me, this was more of a last minute kind of like, oh, I've got this material, let's use it. And yes, it's actually worked really. That's the joy of experimentation. You're not planning on being successful, but when it does, you feel better for it. That's why experimentation is very important, because you're not expecting anything, you're just trying something. And from my experience, when you try something, it normally works really well. You just need to commit to it. And actually, I'm pretty happy with that. It's just a little bit of refinement up here. As I said before, I'd like to do this again on a bit of a larger scale, maybe on an easel, maybe probably A2 size, so I can get a bit more detail in it. It's not looking as chunky, but this has worked really well, especially for recycling a previous drawing from another demonstration. So I've got to add this little bit of dark tone just to refine the shape a bit. And I've said the word refinement probably about 50 times in this video, but yeah, I'm really happy with that. And so if you have any pastels at home, you want to try this out with one of your previous drawings, do so. It's worked and I've enjoyed it, and that's what it's all about. So good luck, guys. I wish you the best and see you soon. Bye.